Okay, we're gonna go live. If I can figure out how to do it with Ron Partlow. Let's say Ron. Okay, here you go. Ron. Oh, look at this is what quarantine life looks like.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Messy hair and a half-shaven beard.
Yep. I'm just sitting here. Look, I've got the secret, Chris.
What is the secret?
Chicken breast. Who would have thought?
Oh, yeah. Well, someone asked me for Sean Roden's cycle the other day, and I said, let me get it. And it was a scroll, like an ancient scroll.
Like on a napkin.
Yeah. I said, you know what? When people say we started that company, me and Ron, it became a multi-billion-dollar company. We wrote it on a napkin in his kitchen. And I said, you know what? Sean Roden was 14 years old, and he said, I want to be Mr. Olympia. And I wrote a cycle out for him on a napkin in his kitchen. But I had to get permission from his mother to allow him to use it.
Right. Well, parental consent's kind of important when you're trying to be Mr. Olympia.
What about the guy today who wanted to know of science? He asked me.
Yeah. I sort of got what he meant, but all this stuff is just semantics. Like, you know what I mean? Just people talking in circles around each other and then renaming stuff.
Oh, Flexitron Roden just came on, by the way.
Oh, Flexitron Roden.
Yeah.
I'll try not to tell any stories about him.
Yeah, actually, you competed with Roden, right? Tell the story about you competing with Roden.
Okay, here's my story.
This is Ron Partlow, who was second place as many times as Jay, and Flex was second place at the Olympia.
I got a couple first, too. Don't forget the wins.
I know, but the second sounds like more Rocky. It's like...
Right. So here's my Roden story. So 2009 North Americans.
Now you got to keep in mind, wait, I got to say that the Trendmaster from you, the Trendmaster from Canada, you have a good eye.
I have a great eye.
A great eye.
So I go down to North Americans for my first time, and it's in Cleveland, right?
Yeah.
And I get there, I don't know fucking anybody. And I'm alone, too. I flew down by myself because, it's just tight. And at the last minute, I got this spray tan company to do my tan. And they weren't the official tan. They were, off in another hotel, right?
Yeah,
so
illegal.
It's like illegal spray tan, right? You had to walk, and, it's in Cleveland. And at the time, the economy was garbage because it was 2009, right?
Is it as bad as it is now or worse?
Wow, we'll see. Give it a month. So half of the city's boarded off, just empty, desolate downtown, and it's really sketchy. And you walk to this other hotel, and I go in, and I'm, and it's like a real, just one hotel room. So she's kind of wait in the hall, and I'll let you in. And, this guy comes out past me, and I kind of, hey, bro. And he's like, hey, man. And she goes, when I go in to get my tan, she goes, that guy looks really good. And I was like, oh, yeah. And she's like, yeah, he looked really good. I have no idea who that was, but his name is Sean. He looked really good. And then the next day I go backstage, and we're getting ready, and she's kind of off in the one corner with just the people she spray tanned, right?
Yeah.
So it's just a little group of us in the corner, and me and Roden are standing beside each other, and we're kind of chatting, and he tells me that, he hasn't trained for 6 years or something crazy because he's been taking care of life, and he just got back into it and all this stuff. And I thought he said he weighed 209. I have a pretty good memory, so I think he was 209.
I'm sure he was 209. I'm sure.
So
you got a memory for weight and cycles.
Yeah. So yeah. And he was on 1,000 megs of tren. No, I'm just kidding.
A day.
I think he was
probably
natural.
on nothing. Yeah, probably.
He was probably on
nothing.
nothing.
He was natural.
Yeah, I think he was natural.
He was natural. Yes, he was.
He's backstage, and we're all getting ready, and
his protein shake was real though.
Right. So they say, heavyweights get ready, and I'm in a really good mood, I'm happy to be there, and he strips down, and I remember all he did was pull his pants down, and he stood up, and he still had his top on, and I looked down at his legs, and I thought, holy fuck, he's not huge, but this is this type of guy that walks in and he's got the round sweepy, everything's just round and bubbly, and then he pulls his top off. And she's doing his tan, and I kind of just looked sideways at him, and all it takes, you know how it is, Chris. You look at that, you can tell, just
yeah.
That's all you need.
For sure.
And I look over, and I'm like, oh fuck, this guy's a problem for everybody. And then I look around the room, and what's the dead giveaway, Chris? Everyone's looking at him.
Oh, yeah.
But he doesn't get it.
Yeah, he don't know. He's clueless, I'm sure.
And
he
I
just
go
wants
to
to place top 5.
And I say to him, I go, you're gonna win this class. And he goes, what? Like I was a crazy person, right? What? How do you?
You tell him who you were? Listen, I know.
No.
Believe me, I know.
No,
I've been beaten by everyone in the Olympia.
No, I didn't say
And-
it.
and
I just said, you're going to win this class. And he's like, I can't remember. He said something like, why would you say that? Like, you know? And I go, because everyone's staring at you. And he was like, oh. And then like, you know, we kind of like made friends that way. And then he goes up and does heavyweights, and I'm standing in line for supers. And he comes
wasn't
off.
even in the supers.
He was in the heavyweights, 209.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting.
Maybe his protein powder wasn't real.
Yeah, and the heavyweights start filing off stage. There, see, he says, I thought you were freaking crazy. See?
Yeah.
Anyways, so he's coming off stage, and I look at him, I go, how'd it go? He goes, first call out, put me in the middle.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah. And then, you know, I knew that I missed the top 6, you know, in that. So I was, you know, just kind of trying to stay in shape for the next day. And we came back the next day, and, you know, he obviously won the heavyweights. And I said, I'm going to run around and watch you win the overall. And he was just like,
he must have really thought you were crazy then. Yeah.
he was like, you know, it was just funny. And then I went around and wound up sitting right in the front because it was like so late. And fuck, he just, you know, he won it pretty simple, won it. And yeah,
he shaped 90 says he wasn't natural, but go ahead.
I think he was alone too. Like I don't think anyone was with him.
No, you're right. Yeah, he was alone.
So it's just one of those crazy things. And then of course, you know, a couple years later, Sean Roden shows up on a pro stage, you know, and you know, it starts.
Yeah. Well, he was last at his first pro show.
Oh yeah, he almost threw his guru out the window too.
Yeah. Well, you know, it just goes to show you that right. You can't. I mean, everyone gets beat. I always say that. Jay gets beat. Phil gets. I've said everyone gets beat. You know, everyone gets beat. Ronnie gets beat.
Almost every there's exceptions obviously,
Amy.
but a lot of good bodybuilders also have like a last place.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that story, like there's a lot of guys that have a last place.
It's just in the numbers. It's like, you know, Warren Buffett had a shitty investment with, you know, Heinz. I guess it's doing better now, but.
Yeah, everyone's sitting at home eating ketchup. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
It's gone up. Yeah, that was That was the first time I met Flexitron. It's funny.
I got to get my power's dying, so I got to get one of my. I have them everywhere. The things to plug in, right?
Oh yeah, see here he says here I was dead last. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, my phone's gonna die, and everyone's gonna. So how do I put it on pause, Ron? Because I'm not.
Oh, just unplug your headphones and plug in the power if that's what you got to do.
No, I don't have anything to plug in here. I have to get like a. Oh wait a minute, maybe it's here. Hold on. It's in my winter jacket. No.
Chris is the technician, but he's not the technology technician.
No, I don't know anything about technology, dude. I don't believe in science. How can I? You heard that today, right? I'm walking through my house now, so.
Hey, do you have a dog, Chris?
No, but watch how long it takes me just to go upstairs. It's like an hour.
Do you live in a huge mansion? How many square feet is your house?
Take a guess.
Is it like 5,000?
Huh?
5,000? 5. He's freezing up. How many is it, Chris?
What was your guess?
5,000. That's my guess.
No. Who could survive in that?
10,000?
It's not
you
a
got
trend
kids
house, dude.
and stuff too, so I assume
Yeah, no dog though.
it's not a trend house. Okay.
It's 6.
6,000. Okay.
But I gotta sell a lot of trend to pay for the mortgage, dude.
Well, you know, everyone
Let me
has to do what they had to do in the start, right?
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, here we are. We've got power. Yeah, because people were complaining of that I couldn't see I'm out of breath. People go say he's got corona for sure. See, the lungs are giving out. One of the telltale signs. So people were complaining that they couldn't hear. So I think someone said you got to get the earphones or something. So I borrowed my kids' earphones.
Yeah, headphones help a lot because it doesn't feedback. The feedback loop stops, and then it doesn't cut out. You know what I mean?
I'm just going through blah
You
blah
got
blah.
so you got
Super.
power now?
Yeah, I do. I'm all
Okay,
juiced up. Yeah.
of course, as you should be.
So what's happening, Ron? What do you do all day now that are you stuck in your house?
No, we're not locked in. The gym is closed, so I normally spend
You know,
like,
I'll imitate Kai, dude,
oh, okay, there you go.
with the hoodie.
You gotta be sweating too. Um, yeah, the gym's closed, so I'm normally at the gym like 6 to 8 hours a day, right? So that really sucks that the gym's closed. So I just kind of, I still have some clients. Some of my clients still have home gyms, and they're still prepping for shows because they're kind of fingers crossed that it's going to, start rolling by, a certain point. So we're just doing what we got to do. But, other than that, fuck, the dog's pretty happy that I'm home so much.
Yeah.
He doesn't know what's going on.
Well, yeah, he's happy no matter what.
Oh
Bombs could be
yeah.
going off outside your window. He's
Oh yeah.
content.
Yeah. Oh, you're home. Fuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bodybuilder, they feel flattened. It's the end of the world, right?
Yeah. It's funny. I'm getting tagged in everybody's home gym setups.
Uh-huh.
Like they're building shit out of 2x4s, and
Yep.
it's pretty funny what people are doing to set up. But it's like cool. It's cool. Like people want to fucking train. Like people are losing their minds.
Yeah, no, I know. Well, you got to put that right. I mean,
And just think like bodybuilding industry, like a good like half are hanging on by a thread to begin with, right?
meaning.
Well,
Oh yeah,
they,
mentally.
they need,
Yeah. Except
they
the
need to
people who
get to the
smoke
gym.
pot, they seem to be doing okay.
What did you call him yesterday with Troy? The Smoky Club?
The smoky, because he always wait. I'd say, Troy, let me see what you look like. He said, let me take a little quick smoky.
Yeah, he seems to be doing good.
Yeah, he's doing good.
You had a lot of guys in that club. You were like
Yeah.
you were like the guru.
Victor was like the original.
Victor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's now. I mean, everyone smokes now. It seems, right?
He started the trend.
Yeah.
That's what I always heard too. Like I always heard he was like the, like the OG.
What's that? Are you still with Mutant?
Oh yeah. Yep. I'm still pretty lucky to have a
Yeah,
sponsor.
you're lucky.
You know what I mean?
So are their sales taking a hit?
Well, they still have the production plant open and they're still shipping. So, I mean, I think everyone's sales will take a hit. I mean, every gym in the world's pretty much closed.
Yeah.
But, I mean, stuff's still going out right now. So,
No.
We'll see what happens. But, I mean, yeah, there's going to be some supplement companies that, I mean, if this goes on too long, there'll be some sub companies that aren't around anymore either. A lot of gyms are going to close, a lot of sub companies, be a lot of show promoters. I'll never do another show. You know what I mean?
I got a lot. Yeah, there's a lot of businesses that will never be able to come back. Period.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
the government can't backstop everyone.
No, fuck. Just print a couple more $1 trillion.
I know. We may have to go to war or something. I don't know. Usually
The ultimate fix,
yeah, that's what I mean, right?
isn't it? That's how every time there's a huge problem. I mean, fuck. World War II came along right at the right time.
Yeah, it's convenient. They're packaged already up. They're like ad campaigns. You know what I
Right.
mean? They just got to know when to pull them off the shelf.
We need a 2-year war.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see what
I mean,
happens.
they have the wars already. Like how many people they're going to deploy, blah blah blah. It's like they got people's obituaries written already. Like when you find out someone dies and like 30 seconds later there's a special on the news. Michael Jackson.
Right.
They like had the obituary all written.
Right. Yeah.
They just keep updating it.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah.
No, we'll see what happens, man. What about the Airbnb business? You were saying how that's fucked up.
It's dead. I got people from New York wanting to escape to Maine right now.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably the worst place to be right now is Manhattan, eh?
Have you seen it? It's deserted.
Oh, okay. Everyone fucked off?
Well, I mean, all the rich people ran out, and then everyone else is stuck in their houses, their apartments,
Yeah. Just doing nothing.
Yeah. Thank God we have you know, I guess social media. It's like the Jetsons. What would you do if like you just have to get like 3 stations in Canada and like you would just you must have had that like national broadcasting thing. You know that where they interrupt the TV shows?
Well, I grew up with 2 channels, right? I grew up on a farm, so we only had 2 channels.
Yeah.
You know? So I know what that's like. So yeah, it's like, fuck, I remember fucking Party Line. I don't know if you know what a party line is. Do you remember party lines?
The party line was like when other people, you can hear what, you like a shared phone.
Yeah, that was when I was really little. I can just barely remember that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, fucking ages ago, man.
Yeah, where they used to like plug in the little
switchboards.
Switchboards.
Yeah. No, it's pretty crazy that we have, you know, the technology to keep in touch now.
The Dajjal is on the way, but someone says Chris Tumble to Dajjal.
Well, what's the Dajjal?
I think we're in the end of times, but I've been saying that for 10 years. Just my timing was off, you know. Because I say Australia almost burnt up into an inferno, right?
Yeah, crazy.
Like how many?
It was millions and millions and millions of square miles burned, didn't it?
In California, right?
Yeah.
And there's been like a few volcanoes that blew their top recently.
True.
And there's tons of hurricanes.
Also
and
true.
Now we get the plague.
Yeah.
It is the plague. It's the plague. It's just like you read about, you know, the plague. I don't know why they call it like the...
So I was on Netflix the other night, and I really like Bill Burr. You watch any Bill Burr stand-up? He's super funny.
Yeah, I've seen him.
Okay, so I watched one of his older specials, like, I don't know, it's from like 5 years ago or something. And he's got this bit that he does about how we need a good disease. And he's like, we need a good disease. We need to clear that traffic out of the tunnel in the morning when you're trying to get to work, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, we need to thin the herd. And it was just funny watching that bit because it was super funny at the time. And now you're watching it and you're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah. Someone adds earthquakes, too. Yeah, we're having earthquakes, too.
You know?
Tsunamis used to be something you'd read in like a kid's book when you're little. You know, tsunamis.
What year was that big Indonesian one that was fucking brutal?
They had two. They had two in the same. That one was, I don't know. But one was like maybe 7 years ago, and the other one was, I don't know, 12 years ago. They had two.
Fuck.
You know?
Yeah. No, I'm glad I live where I live. I know that like the Vancouver area here is a bit of a corona hotspot, but they're doing a really good job with it here, and I think that, you know, I don't think we're going to get locked down here, which is, you know, very fortunate. I did order some adjustable dumbbells, though.
Just in case.
Just in case we get stuck in our houses. I'll bring an adjustable bench home from the gym, and I'll have dumbbells up to 125 at home, so I can still train. I bought some of those big power blocks.
I guess the $1 million question is, how long can you keep GH in the fridge? Because you're not going to be able to go out and replenish it.
Well, the best news is that I'm past spending money on that, so I don't even have any in my fridge.
Well, you can just do it on tests then.
Yeah, no, I'm just back to basics, Chris. You know,
the basics is what. That's the secret, dude.
That's my girlfriend. Hey, Emily.
Hi.
I'm on Instagram Live.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah. So yeah, we're just trying to.
So if you had to be sequestered, Ron, not sequestered, sequestered is, I think, for a jury.
Yeah.
But if you had to go into like isolation, and you had the chance to bring your girlfriend and your dog only, who would you bring?
Damn. I got my headphones in, so she can't hear what I'm about to say. So
I know that. I saw that.
She won't know the context of what I'm about to say.
You can write it and just hold up a little sign.
Yeah.
One bark is her, 2 barks is the dog.
How long?
Yeah, well, that's a good question. Yeah.
If it's a couple
You're hedging
days,
your bets. You're hedging your bets. You sound like, huh?
If it's a couple days,
yeah.
I take the dog.
Well, that's like saying, come on, Ron, you got to go really low carbs to get shredded. You'd say, well, how long?
How long? Yeah. But if it's long term, then I might need to have her around. So yeah.
How selfish.
Well, I am a bodybuilder, Chris. certain
Yeah.
amount of selfishness is just right in the DNA.
Oh yeah, it's built right in, of course.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Did you
That's
see
why.
those? Oh, I was going to ask you, did you see those big Rammy pictures from a week out?
Yeah, he showed them to no, he showed them to me when I saw him at the show. And you know me, Ron.
What'd you say?
You ain't gonna look like that on stage.
Man, he looked pretty fucking good in those pictures.
Yeah. His
So
back is still fat. If you want to take that critical eye.
there's a few little wrinkles under the lats, right? Is
Yeah.
that what you mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's weird. I know Jay always had a couple of those too
Yeah.
on like his lower back. He always had a couple like folds, even though he was shredded.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
one of those things, but everyone has something.
No, I thought he looked great.
Yeah. When do you think the next pro show is?
Not in May. Not in May.
Do you think the Vancouver Pro will happen?
I don't know what's going to happen. 2 days ago, because I think a lot of people are in denial, and I think people are in denial, and that's where we are right now.
I've got
Because
people met.
I hate when people do this. Oh, I won the bodybuilding show, and then Phil Heath came up to me, or it was like surreal. No, fucking sticking in your house for weeks on end is surreal.
Right.
So, I think people haven't got their mind wrapped around it yet. And
I've got people messaging me saying like, "Hey, do you think the gym will be open next week?" I'm like,
I think people, Ron, too, I don't know like the death rate, but I think what people are going to really freak people out is when Ron Partlow says, like, guy I work with, like, 42's died.
"Oh,
You
you
know what I mean?
mean?" Yeah, I know. What
Everyone
you mean.
knows that someone, you know what I mean? Like that saying, 1 degree of separation.
Right. Yeah, the
I
Kevin
think,
Bacon rule.
yeah, I think if that happens,
Right. It'll be
then that's
weird.
going to freak people out.
I do have someone my brother is an infectious disease doctor, so he's working directly with COVID patients right now.
Yeah.
So he's given me, quite a bit of like information.
Yeah.
He's very calm about it. He says it's an emergency because of the numbers and the ER units and the ventilators. But he said the death rate is actually lower than they say.
What's he, a doctor?
Yeah, infectious disease.
Does he think you have to pull slow esters before a show, or?
I would tell him the answer to that question. He wouldn't know anything about esters. But he says the death rate is not correct because there's so many people we don't know have it because it's really minor in them. So the death rate's actually a smaller percentage. And then the Italian death rate is like a hugely unfortunate situation with their old population and situation with the hospitals.
Yeah.
So that's sort of an inflated death rate. But yeah, it's fuck. I know your president down there, Trump, was pretty adamant about working by Easter, but
he wanted the malls open in the next 12 days.
But that's not happening, eh? He finally came down on that today, didn't he?
His doctors probably said, we'll quit on you, He's been trying to bully the virus, but it doesn't seem to be responding.
Huh. Who would have thought?
I did. I would. I'm still mad that he bankrupted the USFL.
Oh. What year was that? Like the
I don't
80s?
know. That, and he bankrupted also the Plaza, my favorite hotel on earth. The Plaza Hotel from Home Alone.
The one in New York.
Yeah.
I didn't know he bankrupted the Plaza. Is it still there?
People say my hair needs a relief check. Dude, that's all my real hair follicles, 1. And 2, I'm sequestered. What's it called?
You're quarantined.
I'm quarantined with 4 kids. No
Jesus.
dog. I don't even have a dog that I can't
So are you told to not leave? Like,
no,
or are you still?
Yeah, Chris, Trump is a virus himself. I agree. No, I can leave. I can
Okay.
leave.
Okay.
Um,
Things aren't martial law, but they're in Maine yet, eh?
no, not yet.
Okay.
But if
Do
they
you,
leave, if they leave and I get pulled over by the police, I can say, look at check my Instagram out. I prep bodybuilders, everything. This is important. I have to be able to leave.
right. Well, I would let you off the hook. Do you own any hotels?
No, but I have Airbnb. I have
Right.
multiple. I have restaurants.
You have restaurants. What else do you have? What's
I
the
mean, I
list?
don't own the restaurants, but I rent to them.
Right. Okay.
They're.
Right. So you have a lot of commercial space.
Yeah.
Are you in how many like are you just in the spaces or are you also in some of the businesses?
No, I just rent to them.
Okay.
So it's
So you
their
don't have it
businesses.
you haven't opened any of your own in some of the
No,
spaces then.
no,
Okay.
no.
Okay. Just one someone was asking me
I
that.
don't
They're
know
like,
anything about restaurants or training. Keep that in mind.
right.
When
Tr-
so
training
the
or
training I don't know anything
restaurants.
about. No, I
And
mean the
they're
bodybuilding training
yeah. Oh yeah.
and restaurants I don't know anything about. Other than I can tell you if the food's good if I eat there.
Right. That's all I know about restaurants too.
That's
I
all
know they
you
have a
need to
tiny
know.
margin.
Yeah, and always bring someone with you when you're going out to eat who'll pay for you. That's probably like the number one rule to follow when you're
Is
going
that why
out to a
people
restaurant.
invite me for lunch?
Why I don't know.
I'm starting to see a pattern here. I get invited for lunch a lot,
Oh,
and
and
then
then you pick up the bill.
I'm a nice guy, so I'm like, I'll pick this one up.
Yeah.
So maybe that's my problem.
What was your most memorable moment in bodybuilding, Ron? People ask me all the time. I said I have no all-time memorable moments,
Hmm.
but I
Most
can
memorable
remember
moment.
a lot. I remember a lot.
I guess probably I'd either say winning my first overall, which wasn't even a
Amanda
national
Palumbo says, "Are the
show.
restaurants still doing takeout in the building you own?" No, they are shut. All three.
Oh,
Closed doors.
wow.
No money to pay rent.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah. I'd say, you mean my favorite memory or like my favorite memory of bodybuilding?
I think that's a good question. Uh, when your favorite memory in bodybuilding, like you, not
I would
of
say,
bodybuilding. I
I
mean, you
would
could say
say,
Arnold winning the '73 Olympia, but
right. Yeah, it's huge. I would say winning my first overall, which wasn't even a national show. It was a provincial show, like a state level show.
oh yeah, you probably felt like on cloud nine.
Well, yeah, because I went to the show knowing that there was like a bunch of good guys in it, and I was like the guy from like the small town that nobody was really talking about, and I showed up and it just like won the show straight first all the way through. It was just like such a.
Yeah,
And I remember prepping for that show. I was going to college full time, so I was at school all day, and everyone would ask me, "How you gonna do?" Because people don't understand what you're doing. And
yeah.
I would tell everyone, "I'm gonna fucking win." I
Yeah.
told everyone, "I'm gonna fucking win."
That's
I
what
said it.
Roden said before. He said, "Quote that before the Olympia that he did win."
Yeah, yeah. So that
Use
was
the F word.
that was that was cool. And then also my first national title win in '07 was awesome because it was in my hometown. It's funny, not even the pro card, because the pro card was more of a relief than
Yeah,
anything. It was like, oh, good,
yeah,
fuck, Whereas like, winning back in '07 was like huge.
yeah.
So that was cool. I'd say favorite memory of bodybuilding ever. Jeez, that's crazy. I don't know. I do remember how nuts it was, like panda fucking monium when Jay beat Ronnie.
Yeah,
Like, I mean, I had never ever since then seen a crowd do that
yeah,
since that night when '06 when Jay beat Ronnie. It was fucking. I just remember how crazy it was.
yeah. You know what's so funny? When I walked by Jay at the night show, when Roden won, um, Jay said this place is going to go nuts when Roden wins.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, I could feel that. That was a great win too. Like that was the next closest thing I think
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because people didn't, people just, it gets to that point where you think like, well, it's just not going to happen.
Right.
Even if it's,
Yeah. Yeah. Another great moment, actually, probably my favorite Jay moment is when Jay lost to Phil. And then instead of giving Phil the microphone, they gave Jay the microphone. Do you remember that? And
Yeah.
Jay like told the story about how he discovered Phil.
Just fucking no one like Jay, right?
No, but
Versus, I mean, Phil almost collapsed when he lost to Roden. I don't mean, that's not a negative on Phil.
no,
It's
not at
just
all.
the positive on Jay. It's just
yeah.
like when Jay won the Olympia from Ronnie. Of course, Jay couldn't enjoy it because he respected Ronnie so much. It was almost like,
He was he was smiling when Phil beat him. Like he had a big smile on his face.
yeah.
Almost like he knew that it was coming.
This guy, my brain is peeled from quarantine.
Yeah. But yeah, I'd say Jay losing to Phil was my favorite Jay moment.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
I got another funny Jay story. He did do you remember 2013 when he did that like one more show?
Yeah.
Remember that? He came to Calgary and he did a seminar. And
What month?
Oh, it was like fucking January. It was so cold.
So he was
like,
small in January.
Yeah, it was after the show. I think.
Oh, okay.
I think it was after the show. Like it might have been November, December, but it was super cold. It was like minus 30 Celsius, like death cold, like you'll die outside cold. And he showed up with just like a fucking thin hoodie on.
Oh yeah.
Anyways, he was hanging out at the venue, and I got there really early because we had to drive down. And I was hanging out at the venue with him, and he's like, "Hey, bro, do you think you could do my tan for me?" I'm like, "Okay." So I start doing Jay's tan. He's just got a bottle of Pro Tan and a fucking sponge it comes with. That's all he had. He didn't have gloves. He didn't have a bigger sponge. He didn't have a spray bottle. He just hands me a bottle of Pro Tan and a sponge.
Who's Jax GX? I keep agreeing with him on everything. Whoever Jax _ GX is. Go ahead.
Well, he knows his shit.
Yeah. So you're putting the tan on him, yeah.
Yeah, so I do Jay's tan for him, and it's just funny because as I'm doing his tan, he's showing me all his injuries. Like he's like, "Hey, look at this," and he like moves his neck, and there's this muscle that's just like tight, looks like it's gonna rip, and then he does it this way, and it's not a problem at all. And he goes, "I don't know what this is, but it happened like a couple years ago, and then it pulls on my clavicle, and then he shows me his rear delt. He's like, it doesn't fire anymore, and he like, and then he's like, this lat's doing this and doesn't work, and this shoulder rotated back, and he's just telling me how fucked up he was. It was pretty.
Well, it's like a car. It's like a car after 20 years, right? It pulls to the right. And you say, and someone tells you, oh no, all you need is an alignment. Say, no, I got the alignment already. It's still pulling to the right.
And then you're like, I just got to put this brick under my seat to keep it level.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's how Jay's body was by that point.
Well, because I mean, he was in a war with Coleman, chasing Coleman.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look back, what's so funny? I just saw the other day. If you look back at pictures from the '04 Olympia, how big Jay was and Ron was, but Jay was like wacky round.
Yeah. I remember him telling me about how, as he got older, it just got harder and harder to train because he just got, he's got banged up.
Yeah.
You go to do bent rows and you got that pain in your back, so you can't go quite as heavy.
Well, you have no fear when you're 20, 21. You can just just getting injured is not even a thought.
He told me from like 1999 to about 2004, he could do anything he wanted.
Yeah.
Like anything. Didn't matter.
The little dings and bangs and,
he could squat heavy or not. He could do high reps, low reps, fucking do anything. Nothing bothered him,
Yeah.
So, and I think every bodybuilder has that window. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's that like sweet time that you hit and you're in the zone. And I just think that the thing that most guys I think look back on is you don't realize that's not going to last.
Oh yeah.
You think, oh, my body's fine, I'm healthy.
Yeah.
I can do anything I want.
You don't get hurt. Yeah. Then it just that's why that's why cars with a lot of mileage on them, even if they don't seem like anything's wrong with them, they're cheap, because you hit that sweet spot is gone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they have to be cheap because by definition it's not the body. Something's going to go on it.
Yeah, it has to. It's just time issue, you know?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I remember him just telling me, you know, as the years rolled by, he had to like,
Roden's just hitting his stride. I would agree with that, Sean. Sean,
yes,
what's a theme for the Olympia, Sean, coming up? He'll tell you.
I'm just waiting for it here. Well, the thing is, Roden might,
Probably,
how old is Roden? 42?
I don't know, he's 5 years younger than Kamal.
So the
Pain
thing
and
with Roden,
punishment. There it is. Pain and punishment.
that's it. The thing with Roden is his training age isn't equal to his age
Oh, yeah,
because
yeah, yeah, yeah.
he was like, didn't train for like 6, 7 years. He had that
Yeah,
huge
it was
gap.
it's like keeping a new car in the garage for 10 years and then taking it
Yeah.
out and said, God, this car looks, great. Why does the car look so good? Well, I don't drive
Yeah.
it much.
How come you're selling a 1982 Ferrari for 100 grand? Because it's only
Yeah,
got 1,000 kilometers on
yeah, exactly.
it.
We just
So,
lost half the United States. They have no idea what a kilometer is.
oh, I guess. Yeah. That's pretty funny. But yeah, so Roden, Roden's still in his early 30s according to his training age.
Yeah, well, it's like when people say, oh, he's only 23 years old. I say, chronologically, dude, he's been on steroids since he was 11. You know what I mean? When some people,
And
I said, all the
lots of
progress is
them.
done. I tell
Right.
that all the time. I said,
Yeah. No, it's all
big,
relative.
big John Ward just came on. We got Roden on and John Ward listening.
He's making fun of my kilometers.
Favorite favorite George Ferris story.
What
Well, the most recent George Ferris story is he sent out a text message and
this the
said,
text?
may I sent it to you, right? Yes, I did. It
Yeah.
say,
It was like a
may
friendly
God's
text.
mercy be all beyond humanity. We are going through a tough time right now, and people are getting hurt.
Very
They will
heartfelt.
very heartfelt and genuine. And
Yeah.
if you know my
Long, quite long,
humor,
quite long.
yeah, long. And I just want to say to everyone, just embrace our differences and celebrate our differences, and we're all one. And I text back, I still had Dexter winning the night show at the Arnold.
Oh man, when you sent me that screenshot, I started just
I
laughing.
screenshot it and sent it to you.
Hmm.
Even though your friend there says we never talk, I screenshot you personal stuff, and your friend,
So
what's
the
my
insight.
opinion of Kamal El Gagni?
Yeah, yeah,
He won. He
he's
won
all
the.
right.
Yeah, he's okay. Won the Olympia.
He only has
For
like what 3 world titles? Doesn't he only have?
48 years old.
He's got a couple world championships. And those world championships are very impressive wins. Like
Well, they
those,
start at like 130. He's like a Dexter. He won the first one at like 159, then
right?
63, then 72, and
Yeah,
84. And last year he barely made 212.
yeah, yeah. No,
You
it's funny.
know,
I like your story of when he came to you at that seminar and he was just fat, just looked like a fat normal guy.
with the hoodie.
He was like, "I want you to train me. I got one more show in the tank," or something
Yeah,
like that,
yeah,
didn't he?
yeah. Yeah, he said, I just want to try one time to see how I do on the professional stage. And of course I said, oh, you win any shit. He
You
filled his head with bullshit.
do you think that? Here's the question I have for you, Chris. You say that to people, like you make bold predictions. Do you think that that's part of the reason why people come through?
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah.
you
I hope, yeah,
mentally
100%.
100%.
Even though I believe it, but they come through because I lodged it in their head, and I
Right.
think it's subliminal, like it's in my head for good, and then I just keep pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing, and that's pushing in a different way than like, okay, Ron, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 milligrams, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, 8,000, 10,000. It's got nothing to do with that. It's just the whole idea, you know.
Hmm.
I told the story before of I went to this. I went to look at this building with this real estate agent, and of course it's like the building's like off the hook. You know, we take the elevator up, boom, the little elevator, boom. You know when it makes that noise, and the door opens, and you get off on like the 8th floor, and it's like 300 people working, and then this real estate broker brings me down to the 7th floor, bing, you know, opens up this is Mr. Chris Aceto. He's looking for, you know, to buy this building, you know, and I look and like the CEO of the company comes running up, you know, there's like 300 people working on that floor, bing, we take it down to, you know, the break rooms. They show me the entire building. I tell the broker, no, I don't have any money. That's a true story. I said, but I like this building, so I thought that if I could see it, and if I liked it, then I could like get it in my mind.
Make it happen.
As a goal. So I know what the goal is. Now I just got to figure out how to get there. I mean, it's no different than going into the gym and looking at pictures of Arnold and saying, looking at it and studying it and looking at it and going, and it gets like, then you start dreaming it all day long. And, you know, as a bodybuilder, you become like psychotic.
Yeah.
You know?
I remember after I won the, like, I guess what you guys would call state level show in 99, the nationals were going to be in the same city about 6 weeks later. So everyone was coming up to me and they're like, you're going to do really well at nationals. I mean, it's here, you know, like you don't have to travel. It's going to be awesome. And I said, I'm not doing them. And they were like, why? And I go, well, I'm going to sit in the crowd and I'm going to watch the show. I'm going to see exactly what I'm up against because I want to go in like super informed.
Yeah.
So I just sat it out, watched the show. And after I watched the show, I thought, okay, I can do that. And I showed up the next year. I was only 24. But I showed up the next year and I got second at my first nationals. But I just thought, like, you know, seeing it, I wanted to program it into my head. I didn't want to go in like not knowing.
Yeah.
You know, like I wanted to see it so I could think about it all year. So I spent the whole year like just dwelling on everything I saw at that one show, you know? So it's you know, it's been part of the programming. But I remember when you sent me those photos of Roden on Monday before the Olympia, I was at the gym and I opened my phone right after I trained. I still remember. And you sent them and I just replied, you wrote, he will win.
Yeah.
And okay, I know you're kind of crazy and you make bold predictions. I also know you really believe the stuff you say.
Yeah.
So you text me and you go, he will win. And I was like, holy fuck. Because like he looked really big in the photos. I remember thinking he looked good. And I just wrote back, he's extremely dangerous. But I mean, come on, still
Everyone
in my
looks
head,
good a week out.
I'm still thinking, well, he does look amazing, but Phil Heath is Phil Heath.
Yeah.
And like, fuck, it's 5 days away. So like, I guess we'll see. And then I remember I showed up in Vegas and I text you, how's Roden doing? And you text me back again, he will win. And I was like, holy fuck, Chris is pretty convinced. Because you were like putting it in all caps too, you know? Like going through the effort of using your all caps button.
People are in a panic about Patrick Moore, but go ahead.
Oh, yeah. So you know, just you were very confident about that. I remember telling all my friends, like, Chris wrote, he will win in big caps. Yeah. So, you know, maybe put a bit of money on him.
Yeah. You know what's so funny? I wouldn't even dare to post these, Ron. I'll send them to you. Kamal actually looked better when he was, a week out, Kamal looked better when he was third. Right? So I just saw these pictures yesterday.
Like, you mean the year he got third, he looked better a week out?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I get to Vegas, and I think, we're winning. And at the same time, I'm thinking that I told Kamal, I said, wow, you're gonna win. I did. If I sent you these pictures, Ron, a week out in the hotel room, there's no way you would think it's a week out. You'd say it's like 6 weeks out. He was just so fluidy. It was a ridiculous. I mean, from behind, he had nothing. Nothing. Even from the front, he had like one line in his quads. But, I had it like, I knew kind of like where he was at. I was just really surprised like a week out. And I'll send you the pictures, and you'll be shocked at like.
Do you remember?
Tight.
Do you remember the night I lost 18 pounds in one night?
Oh yeah, yeah. You slept it off.
With no diuretics.
I know, because I said if I had given you a diuretic, then I would have thought it was the diuretic and not that, right?
Yeah. So that was 2010. I showed up at that show and I had like, I was very stressed out and I just was completely waterlogged. And I think I was supposed to be like 265 and I was like 283.
Yeah, yes, you were
You know,
283. Remember, I got a good, yeah.
So I was like pounding, you're drinking lots of water on Thursday, right? You're flushing. But I just wasn't pissing because I was stressed out. And, I think it was like aldosterone and all that shit. And you finally showed up. Remember your nightmare flight?
Yeah, my flight was canceled. It took me 2 days to get out there.
Fuck, it was brutal. So you showed up like super late. And you looked at me and you go, well, Jesus, we better start some diuretics. And I said, you know what? I think, because it had happened to me a few times during the prep. I go, I think if I just take like a half a sleeping pill, and go to bed early, I think I'll wake up dry.
Yeah.
And you were like, well, that still gives us lots of time. Okay, I guess we could do that. So I didn't take any diuretics. I took some melatonin, a half a sleeping pill, and I think I smoked like a huge joint.
Oh, well, there you go.
And I went to sleep.
Cortisol levels went through the floor.
And I slept for like 9 hours. I think I got up to piss every single hour for 9 hours, but I slept deep and just pissed and slept and pissed and slept. And I woke up the next day, I was 18 fucking pounds lighter.
Yeah.
And you looked at me and you were like, you were just like, oh, well, okay.
Yeah.
We're fine now.
Yeah.
Placings
don't mean much to me, but that placing bothered me, that show.
Yeah, that one was tough.
That one bothered me more than, because...
I remember you came up to me in the lobby and your hair was like all fucked up. And you were super
worse
tired.
Worse than it is now?
Oh, yeah, it's like sticking up, Okay. Mad scientist. And you come up and you just said, and I had all my friends around me, and you said, North Americans in 3 weeks? And I went, yep.
Yeah, I was just so mad.
And you went, okay, I'm going to bed.
Yeah. I was upset at the North Americans, too.
You were just so mad.
Yeah.
So it's just it's funny. It's funny though to look back at all those shows.
That was, I remember we were backstage and they had like female bodybuilding going on, and I was like, they go, women's class up, and I heard like, I was like, holy shit.
Oh yeah.
Chicks don't fool around up here in Canada.
No, that was back when the women's bodybuilding was still going strong.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at some of these questions here.
Top size?
I love 8 to grow. A lot of people asking about like you and Rami and stuff too. Do you ever look at these? Do you ever look at do you see the questions?
No, they fly by. Those ones that go right up on so we can see them?
Yeah.
I tell people I'm doing the Instagram for the people who are locked in like myself, so we all don't go crazy.
Yeah, there's a lot of people. Oh, best Dusty story.
Best Dusty story is easy as can be. When he was standing on stage at the North America, and like in the lineup, and someone said, "You doing the Nationals?" He said, "No, I'm winning this, dude."
I remember
right
that.
In the lineup. You going? Yeah. You going to the?
You going to Nationals? No. He's like standing front, relaxed. Like, no, I'm winning this show.
Yeah, it's like in the comparison, dude. Quarter turn to the right.
So you do Nationals?
What are you talking about? Quarter turn to the left. Bob Gruskin's story. He's in a. You want to know Bob Gruskin's story? Someone just asked. Bob Gruskin, my coach, used to tell me, "Beware of the plague."
And what did he mean by that?
We're going to have a viral infection that is going to take over the world. He used to tell me that when I was a kid. It scared the shit out of me.
Had nothing to do with bodybuilding.
Well, he has like a PhD in microbiology, and he was a
Oh,
bodybuilding
shit.
coach.
Really?
So
I didn't realize that about him.
Oh yeah, he knew the science stuff, all the science stuff.
Right.
And he liked Star Trek and he liked the movies, the science, science.
Oh,
He used to
okay.
tell me all the time. I told Dave Palumbo that today.
Oh, that's a good one. I'm trying to think of my favorite Dusty story.
There's a
Jesus,
lot of them,
there's so
but
many.
that one's the best. Yeah.
I'll tell you, someone asked me about Kai Green the other day,
Yeah.
and I told a Kai Green story, so I'll tell that.
Go ahead.
First time I met Kai Green was at a guest posing, and I was in a hotel looking at some clients, and I was on my way out, and I was walking through the lobby, and the promoter came in with Kai, and I'd seen Kai around at the events, right, but I hadn't really met him. And Kai looked at me, he's like, "Oh, hey," like he recognized me. He's like, "Oh, hey," because I think it was like in the Rich Piana days, you know what I mean? And so he kind of knew my face, and I started talking to him for a little bit. And my one client had given me this big container of fresh baked chocolate chip cookies, right? Big, deep Tupperware container, just jammed full. It was like 3 pounds of cookies. Like it was big. And this was like 2 weeks after the Olympia. And so I opened it. I go, "Hey, Kai, do you want a cookie?" And I opened the Tupperware. And I'm holding this big Tupperware dish, right? And I open it up. And he goes, "Oh, I don't mind if I do." And he looks up. He goes, "Can I have more than one?" And I go, "Yeah." So he reaches his hand in. And he grabs, like, it was pretty deep. Like, there was, 7 or 8 cookies deep. And he grabbed, like, the whole row. He pulled the whole row out. He is holding, like, a handful of cookies like this.
Mm-hmm.
And he just put them in his hoodie. And he went back in. And he grabbed a few more. And those are the ones he ate while he stood there and talked to me. He must have taken 15 cookies out of my Tupperware dish. And they're just in his hoodie pocket. It was pretty funny. That was my first run-in with him.
Let's see. Do I have a Kai? I don't really have a Kai. I never interacted much with Kai. Someone asked about my best Jose Raymond story. I have hundreds of Jose Raymond stories.
Yeah.
But probably the best when I realized that he could finish sentences for me and I could finish sentences for him. Because our brains are like connected on the same exact wavelength. It's insane. I was in England, and it was the best 212 show of all time. You had Flex in it, Eduardo Correa was in it, Sammy Al-Haddad was in it, Jose was in it, Guy was in it, Masoom Butt was in it. Who just won the Arnold? He was in it as a 212 guy. He got like 7th or 6th. Who won the Arnold?
I mean, the
Yeah. Bonac.
212.
Bonac
Yeah.
was in the 212 class.
Oh.
So I'm backstage and I'm staring at Flex. And in my mind, I was thinking, because sometimes you see people backstage, it's just a fact, and they look like shit. You know what I mean? They look like crap compared to on stage. And some people backstage, they look like they're going to win the show, and you say, how'd he get 9th?
Yep.
And I was staring at him, and I heard this voice go behind me, "I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, he looks like absolute shit." And it was Jose. And that's exactly what I was thinking. And Jose says, "Well, when he gets out there, things change."
That's funny. I went out for dinner with Jose and kind of a small group of friends in Australia. We went out like 3 nights in a row. So the first night we went out and the one guy picked up the tab and it was like $400 and some, right? It was like, wives and it's all the guys and their wives, right? And Jose's having some drinks and his wife's having some wine. And so it gets expensive. Plus Australia's expensive to eat out.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, fuck, that was nice of Jose to get the bill, right? So then the next night we all met up again. We went out and ate again. And the other guy, he like got up and like snuck on me and he paid the bill. And I was like, oh, fuck, I have to get a bill. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't, Jose got us the first time and the second guy snuck in and got it.
You don't want to be the mooch on there.
I don't want to be the mooch. So I'm like,
Canadian
hey, fuck.
mooch.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, if like, I hope we go out again. Cause I mean, it's only a few days we're there anyways. And I'm like, fuck, I have to pick up the next tab. So finally we go to the Arnold. We watch the Arnold. And then we go down the street to this like really expensive steakhouse seafood place. And Arnold was there with Tony Doherty, like eating in the VIP room. They had the whole table with all the judges and shit. And it's a pretty expensive place. And I'm like, okay, I'm getting this tab, right? So pretty early in the night, I got up and I went to the bathroom and I found our server. And I said, hey, here's my credit card. Can you make sure, I don't want these guys to think I'm the cheap one. And she kind of laughed and she's like, okay. So we eat. And like Jose orders this like seafood platter for 4.
Yeah.
Eats a whole fucking thing, has like 3 beers.
Of course he does.
Everyone's eating. I get the bill. It's $800.
Oh, yeah. So what you do with it?
Paid it. Fucking took it like a champ. I mean, that's how it works. You know? I mean, we weren't looking at bills the other 2 nights, so I was like, fuck, I guess I fucking eat this one.
I gotta laugh. I gotta leave, but I gotta go take care of my dog. I don't have a dog. So I was in Ohio for the Arnold, and Cormier was like, every day, let's go out to eat, let's go eat something. So finally I go like, okay, Chris, we'll go out to eat. And I said, but I'm paying. And he was demanding. He's like, no, there's no way you're paying. Just, you're my guest. We're gonna go out to eat. Anyways, he took me out to a place that costs a fortune. And I'm still me. I look at menus. I go right to the right. I don't even look at I start to the right with the prices, and then if I get a price that I like, meaning low, then I see what the food is.
I'm getting the clam chowder again.
Yeah. So, anyways, he was nice enough to get the tab, which I didn't expect. Even there when I said, come on, Chris, let's it's too much for you to take. So he took it anyway. So the next day he texted me, he was in that gym where people go, Powerhouse, and I met him over there for a few minutes because I was running around with like Patrick Moore, Sergio, who he was helping intimately, and Morgan asked I was helping, and a couple guys who were in the amateur I was helping. So, I was never with one person a lot period of time, like, running around and stuff. So I met him at the gym, and I was starving. I went across the street, ate something, and I said, Chris, you want to come over and join me? And it was like wings, and the price was like $4.95 lunch special. And I think like the steaks we had eaten like 3 days before were like $113.
Yeah.
So I said, Chris, don't worry, I got it. Anything you want on this menu. There's wings for $4.95 or burgers $5.95.
You can get something to go.
Steak and cheese. Yeah. If you want to get dessert, I'll take care of that too.
It's luck of the draw. When you do the take turns paying bills, you never know.
Yeah.
You never know what stop you're going to be at. You got to shoot?
All right, Ron. So that's it. I could talk to you, Ron, all night long, even though I don't know you according to your friend.
Right. You're just a guy that helped me for a few shows.
Yeah. That's
Okay.
it. So
maybe he'll see your Instagram.
Yeah, I'll tag it to this is my 3rd Instagram, I think, ever, or 4th.
Are you going to save it?
If I know how to, I think I send it to like my stories. How do you save it?
Yeah, send it to your story. Yeah, it'll ask you if you want to put it up. Yeah.
Yeah, and then
okay.
Of course, I was just doing Instagram Live by myself when Jay came on.
I know. So I was on watching you. And
yeah, and people were texting me, Jay's on, and he's trying to get on with you, and I'm like, how do I do it? People are having to send tutorials. Push the button, 3rd one from the right.